Hello and welcome to another video. I personally have a vendetta with this channel and its lying ways. The recipes are fine enough, it's just the money-saving aspect that really chaps my ass. Let's watch.
There once was a time where burger meals were cheap, and now they're this? Well, I think they should be something like this. That is but cheaper.
Honestly, if you use apps, you can get discounts. The prices are soaring though due to inflation. Or if we're being super honest, corporate greed. There was a story that broke earlier this year of a McDonald's in Connecticut that was charging $18 for a Big Mac meal. Crazy times we're living in. I'm skipping the glamour shots.
Sure, cooking and assembling a burger is easy and fast, but making an incredible experience takes a little finesse. These buns are slightly different than our others. First, in a small container, add 1 1/4 cup or 290 grams of water that's lukewarm around 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Whisk in 2 teaspoons or 8 grams of instant yeast.
I understand that's all he's using for the recipe, but you'd either have to realistically buy those little individual packets of yeast or a jar of it in order to use 2 tablespoons. This is where we get into why I can't stand this channel. And not just this channel, but cooking shows that offer a money-saving angle in general. This channel is not the first to have programs like this. I remember Food Network always tried to peddle money-saving shows. All of them were canceled. I think now all Food Network does is whatever Guy Fieri wants and Cake Wars. Or those food battling shows, which I love personally. I don't know why I know they're all fake, but I can literally watch those food battling shows for hours. I went off a tangent, but why I can't stand shows like this is because they're only giving you the price of the amount of ingredients they're using. That's not realistic. If I were to need yeast for a recipe, and I don't have any on hand, then that means I have to go buy it for full price. I can't buy 2 tablespoons of yeast.
Till dissolved, then separately in a stand mixer, 3 cups or 450 grams of all-purpose flour, 2.5 tablespoons or 34 grams of granulated sugar, and 1.5 teaspoons or 10 grams of fine sea salt.
For the price of the burger meal being $3, he or his team calculate the cost of each ingredient by how much they use, not how much that actual ingredient would cost in stores, like I stated previously. To be fair, most people would already have salt, sugar, and flour at home already. But since he calculated the costs in the video, what I'm going to do at the end of this is add up how much everything costs as well.
Mix until combined, you can use your hand. Turn it on to medium-low, add in your yeast juice. Mix until you have a rough dough, then add 1/4 cup or 56 grams of softened unsalted butter.
My math is goddamn awful, but butter is like $4 now if you're lucky. So I don't know how he got 50 cents for the amount he used. I got 25 cents. I used a cheaper butter from Walmart for my calculation. He's low-key using a better grade of butter, so that must mean he's using more expensive ingredients overall, but he's trying to peddle this show off like it's super convenient and affordable. Scoff.
And let that incorporate until smooth and beautiful, about 3 to 5 minutes. Listen, you can do this by hand. Simply replace the butter with vegetable oil and add it with all the ingredients at once. Then mix by hand and knead. That's it.
I already did the costs for the butter, so we're sticking with the butter.
Roll your dough into a light ball, place it in an oiled bowl, cover with plastic wrap, and rise at room temperature for 1 hour.
I guess we're not going to be super pedantic and count the cost of like the bowl, the plastic wrap, or the machinery needed to make the dough. He did say you can mix the dough by hand, but that shit takes forever. Also, if you include the cost of a stand mixer into this, then you may as well just eat out. Something else I want to note is that this guy is basically a professional. I don't know his credentials or whatever, but he knows what he's doing in the kitchen is what I'm trying to say. Recreating recipes, even following a step-by-step tutorial, don't always turn out perfect. So you could recreate this faithfully, step by step, and it'd come out burnt or taste awful. That's one of the only advantages of fast food, is that at least you can be assured that the meal you're getting is going to taste good. Not all of us are experts in the kitchen.
Now once that's done, push it down into 6 pieces, around 110 grams each, shape them into light balls, place evenly spaced apart on a baking sheet lined with parchment paper, grease some plastic wrap, and cover that brother lightly, and proof for 20 to 30 minutes at room temp or until puffed. For your egg wash, you're going to combine 1 egg.
Where are you buying only 1 egg from?
plus 1 tablespoon or 14 grams of water whisked together till homogeneous, lightly and seductively. Brush your buns with your egg wash, sprinkle generously with sesame seeds, and place into your oven at 375 Fahrenheit for 15 to 17 minutes or until a beautiful golden brown, goddamn Burger King bun practically exits your oven to grace your presence. Optionally, you can brush those with melted butter, totally not mandatory. Moving on. We could do french fries, but you know what? Tater tots don't get enough love and they're actually easier. So you're gonna need 4 large russet potatoes.
A bag of potatoes is like $4 to $6 depending on whatever grocery store you go to. How the hell are they getting these prices? How would 4 potatoes be $4? The bags barely even cost that much. Maybe someone who is horrible at math like me shouldn't be making this video laughing my ass off.
Your potatoes, place in a heavy bottom pot filled with water, and boil for 10 to 15 minutes or just until the potatoes have some slight give. Lightly dry with a paper towel and sit for 15 to 20 minutes or until you can handle them by hand. Now using the coarse side of a cheese grater, grate all your potatoes, place it into a bowl, sprinkle in about 1.5 teaspoons or 9 grams of fine sea salt, 2 tablespoons or 24 grams of all-purpose flour.
Bro, this is so much easier than just ordering fries from the McDonald's app. Like, don't even get me started. Have you ever shredded a damn potato before? You know how slippery them shits is? Especially after being boiled. It would literally take hours to make this meal. How is this more convenient than just ordering a burger and getting it in like 20 minutes?
Toss together until thoroughly coated and evenly distributed. The next part couldn't get simpler. Simply form those tots with your hands into little inch-long cylinders. Now once those are done, optionally you can pop those into the freezer to chill for about 10 to 15 minutes. Then when you're ready to fry, get a 6 to 7 quart heavy bottom pot filled about halfway with vegetable oil.
Basically, 1 gallon of oil is like $10. After 5 minutes of furiously typing prompts into Google to calculate this, I've come to the conclusion that basically it's like half a gallon of oil. I hope that's right, cause this shit is hurting my brain. So he's off by $1, it'd be like $5 for half a gallon.
Heat to 350 Fahrenheit and in batches, fry your potatoes for about 2 to 3 minutes or until a beautiful, deep, crispy golden brown tater tot greets you. I was actually pretty shocked how well this worked. Now look, a burger meal isn't complete with a soda. Are we gonna do traditional poo-poo pee-pee soda? No.
Personally, I just opt for water. I've cut soda out of my diet for years now. But that's just me.
Get yourself a pot, add 3/4 of a cup or 154 grams of granulated sugar, and 3/4 of a cup or 177 milliliters of water. Heat that over medium heat, stirring occasionally until all of the sugar is dissolved. Now in a blender, add 1 cup or 145 grams of blackberries.
Fresh or frozen? I'm just going to assume fresh, cause this dude loves his expensive ass ingredients. Blackberries are going to run you at least $5, easy. They sell blackberries by tiny ass pints, so you might need 2. I don't know, but honestly a liter of soda is like $2. It's your call. I'd just make an iced coffee or have some water that would cost me $0.
Add all of your simple syrup, blend that on high till smooth, line a mesh strainer with cheesecloth, and gently strain that through the cheesecloth. Once that's all drained, you're gonna add the juice of 2 lemons mixed together. Now to serve, get yourself a nice big jug. Pour in your blackberry syrup, followed by 1.5 liters of seltzer water or club soda.
I guess we're just going to ignore the cheesecloth and the strainer. Seltzer is pretty cheap. I just realized we're not even at the actual burger part yet. And we're already at like $20 in the actual cost of ingredients.
Okay, we're ready for a burger. The ingredients couldn't be simpler. Beef, mustard, mayo, ketchup, pickles, and optionally onions. Now, medium-sized bowl. Add 2 pounds or 907 grams of ground beef. I want this under 80% lean. I want fatty ground beef. A, it's cheaper, and B, it tastes better.
Cheaper than what? For the specific cut he wants with under 80% lean for 2 pounds of ground beef is $12. And that's the price at Walmart. Just to keep things in perspective, the average cost of a Big Mac is $5 according to Google. Where I live, they're like $7.
Heat that by hand until nicely emulsified and separate into 2-ounce balls, which should get you a total of 16 patties, which at a minimum gets you 8 servings and at a maximum 16 servings. Here's how you make a proper smash patty. First off, stainless steel pan, place on medium-high heat, grease it lightly, get yourself a ball, place it in the center, and flatten that to 1/8 of an inch thick and into a nice wide patty. Season with salt and pepper to taste, let that sear for about a minute, quickly scrape under, flip, season it lightly with salt and pepper again, and of course, add cheese.
That's bullshit. Those packets of individually wrapped cheeses go for $7 now. If you're lucky, sometimes you can find them for $4, but yeah, the average cost for 24 slices is $7.
Like I said, we're going as OG American as possible. Yes, American cheese. Now separately, we have our bun that's been split and toasted on both cut ends, as you should. Always toast your buns, please. The bottom bun's gonna get mustard and mayo, as much as your heart desires. Layer on your pickles. These have been cut lengthwise. Now, layer on patty 1. Rinse and repeat your cookery with a secondary patty. Place that second patty on top, and optionally, you can add very thinly sliced sweet onion.
I think you actually can buy onions individually, but they're more like 80 cents for one.
Which, by the way, you want to know a secret about this onion? When you slice your onion, you place it in a bowl, cover it with a wire rack, and fill it with water, and let the water just kind of run through there for about 30 seconds, and you have the crispiest, sweetest, most delicately flavored onions in your life. Now get your ketchuped top bun and crown a most beautiful and most affordable king of meals.
I can't believe he said this meal is affordable with a straight face.
Is this the new actual king of burger meal?
No.
Let's taste test and find out.
Bada bing, bada boom. Burger meals used to be inexpensive. Now you're going to McDonald's like $8. Wow, all for this price?
Notice it says per serving. So all for $3.26, huh? All right, we're almost at the final stretch. How much did this actually cost? It sure as fuck isn't $3, and I ain't got the skills to figure out what the fuck it would cost per serving.
I'm gonna eat that. Wow. This is a burger George Motz and Alvin Kylon would kiss me on both cheeks for. Wash it down. Ooh, this is a perfect burger meal that I would pay $15 to $20 for, and only for this?
Is it really only for $3.26? Well, let's find the fuck out, shall we? First, let's just list off the ingredients with their respective prices used for today's menu. Just to keep things simple, I'm using Walmart prices and rounding up. We have in no particular order, a gallon of oil, $10. Sea salt, $2. Granulated sugar, I used the price of the 4-pound bag for $3. All-purpose flour, $3. Russet potatoes, $5 for a 10-pound bag. Unsalted butter, $4 for 16 ounces. Packets of yeast, $2. Eggs. The Walmart web zone I'm using has them for super cheap, but the average price of eggs is $5 for a dozen, so I'm going with $5. Lemons, roughly $2 per pound. Seltzer or club soda, about $1. Pint of blueberries, I'm just going with 1 pint to make this easier, is $6. Ground beef, $12 for 2 pounds. Onion was like 80 cents for one. Pickles, $3 for a jar. Mayo, $3 for value brand. Mustard, $2 a bottle. And lastly, ketchup, about $1 for a small bottle. He didn't include the cost of any equipment he used, so I didn't include it either. If I missed any ingredients, I'm sorry. Alright, total cost of all ingredients used is a whopping $64.80. That's not including taxes, which would make this around $70 easy. They got $3 as their total because they were doing the prices like a pinch of salt, 12 cents. That's not how it works in real life. You don't buy groceries by how much of it you use, lol. If it was like that, buying groceries would be so much cheaper. But to be fair, depending on what state you live in, the prices will vary. So it could be maybe $40 in Texas and like $100 in New York. I also want to point out that Weissman in particular always uses the better ingredients, so his final cost could be more than mine. I put in off-brand stuff and I still got $65, lol.
That's butt cheaper, but you wanna know what else I would pay for? B-roll.
Well, I sure as hell wouldn't. I'm just gonna end the video here. You know the drill. If you have any thoughts or comments, please leave them down below. Bye.